Thank you for joining me in my home today here in St. Albans, West Virginia. I'm Larry McCallister. I'm pastor of the Browns Creek Church of God here in St. Albans. And I thought I would take just a few minutes as a pastor of almost 50 years, and most of that as a full-time pastor, enjoying pastoring in two different states and several different communities, to talk to you a little bit about this time of season. There are several words that jump out to us during this time of the year. We like to talk about joy, we like to talk about peace, we like to talk about hope, and we like to talk about faith, as well as other words that go along with this Advent season. Our churches have been walking a journey that has been traveled for almost 2,000 years now, and that journey deals with going to that very first time when the message of the gospel began in a little town called Bethlehem. Bethlehem, of course, was a small town in comparison to Jerusalem and to the other areas that were there in the greater Judea area. But the Bible would declare to us in prophecy that in this small town that the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords would be born, that the Son of God would be born of virgin birth, and would bring peace and joy and happiness and all of those things to the world. You remember the words of the angels as they sang to the shepherds. It began with the word joy. Now, what is joy? That's what I want to talk about today. Well, do you have all of your Christmas shopping finished? Do you have everything all wrapped up and ready for that big night? How about your various activities, civic activities, your dinners, your church activities, the plays, the cantatas? What about all of the little presents that you want to give to people that are around you? You know, you have your mailman, you have sometimes your pizza delivery guy. You like to give him something a little bit special. Then there are people in your community that you think about who maybe are going to have a rough time this year. And so you sit down and you try to think of how to help them. Maybe some of you have even had the opportunity of going and working in a place where food was shared with the homeless. Or maybe you've even worked in a homeless shelter to try to help this time of year. Maybe you've even taken a hand at ringing the bell for the Salvation Army. No matter what you do, it seems as though this time of year we have a tendency of wanting to do just a little extra to try to help in this time of joy. But yet all of us, I guess, have dealt with that situation when we go into a supermarket or we go into a store, and lo and behold, there's somebody there with a buggy who just simply wants to erratically drive it and bang it into you. Or maybe you've reached to pick something up out of a bin that's on sale only to have someone else reach in front of you or even take it out of your hands. I've never been one who was very happy with the concept of that Black Friday, when everyone seems to charge into the store and everyone seems to be pushing and shoving and trying to get everything that they want. I want to talk about something a little different this year. I want to talk about your joy. I think there are two words that go along with telling us what joy is. I think joy is contentment. Contentment with what you have, where you are, and what's going on in your life. The second word, I think, is discontentment. Now, when you walk down the street and you're doing your shopping, let me ask you a question. How many people smile? Or let me ask you even a more serious question. How much do you smile at other people? I think it's important that we understand that not everything is perfect in life. When the Lord came, He promised that we would have an inner joy, an inner peace, that no matter what the circumstances might be around us, that we could still have a joy that's far more important than even happiness. But discontentment seems to reign. How many people will open their present and say, "Oh, I was hoping for something else." Or how many people will get a card and look at the card and say, "Wow, they didn't spend much money on that." Then again, maybe that's a question we ought to ask. Is joy related directly to what is spent or what is given and the value of it? If so, I have something to tell you. And that's simply this. You, nor I, nor anyone else will ever be happy because they will never know what real joy is all about. Some years ago, a friend of mine was dying in a hospital, and it happened to be Christmas Eve. And I have told this story in every church that I've pastored. In fact, I even shared it with my congregation just a few days ago. It's a snowy day, and I hate snowy roads. I hate slick roads. I guess I should be a fair weather type of pastor in a way. But it's late in the evening, and my little family has come together, and Christmas to us begins on Christmas Eve. And I receive a call, and it's from a girl that I'd had in a youth camp some years before, asking me if I could come to the hospital because her father, my friend, was dying. And I went to this very large hospital here in the Charleston area. And when I walked in the room that normally was filled with people, as far as you could see, people would be sitting around waiting near the intensive care room. There was nobody else there except these two. And so when I walk in the room, they ask me if I will go in and see their father, their husband, and have prayer, and of course I did. When I came out and I sat down on the sofa beside of them, all of a sudden I realized that what they needed more than anything else was the feeling that someone cared enough to spend some time with them in their saddest moment of their entire life. The Bible tells us a unique story. It's a unique story about two sisters. One of them's name is Martha and the other one's name is Mary. Something tremendous is happening because Jesus is coming to their home and he's going to be a special guest there. Well, you can imagine what it's like. You know what it's like whenever you are expecting someone to come to stay in your home. You normally do your spring house cleaning, if necessary, in the middle of the summer, or you do it in the winter. You just want everything to be perfect. Martha is working hard. She's probably cleaned the house. It's as spotless as it's going to be. Jesus has some folks with him, so she wants to make certain that they are taken care of. And so here she is, and all of a sudden she realizes that she's working all alone. Where's Mary? She looks over, and she sees that Mary is sitting at the feet of Jesus Christ. She complains. She gripes. She murmurs. Can I put it in my words? Jesus, can't you make her help? I'm doing all of the work here, and all she's doing is just sitting her side, right beside of you, listening to you. She's not helping me at all. To which Jesus' response was something like this. Martha, Martha, you worry about too many things. Which is the most important? Having the perfect meal, having the perfect Christmas tree, purchasing the perfect gift that you've had to stand in a line for hours? Or is the single most important thing grasping the meaning of this season? Discontent. Sometimes people are not happy with their jobs. Some people feel that they're not making enough money on their jobs. Sometimes people feel as though that life has dealt them a bad card. Sometimes they feel that they've been stepped on and stepped over, and sometimes we can even feel a little bit like Ebenezer Scrooge. The message of Christmas has nothing to do with the carols, the cantatas, the Christmas trees, the presents, the special sweets, sitting down actually with the family, even though that's very important. The real message of Christmas deals with something that happened in Bethlehem of Judea that would change your life and my life and literally every other life in the history of the world. For on that night, when the shepherds heard the message from the angels, a message that implied to them that peace had come, they suddenly realized that what they were going to behold was far more important than anything they have ever seen. What they beheld was the Son of the living and the true God. Now, I'd like to talk to you just for a moment before I end. I'm not going to talk long to you about this Christmas. What do you need more than anything else? What's the greatest gift that you could have? A new car? A new home? Maybe a large bonus check just for Christmas. Maybe it's your children coming together around a table and for the first time in years your whole family is together. Maybe it's going to church on Christmas Eve for a candle service or candlelight service or a communion service or a mass. No. You see, what you need more than anything else is joy. And the joy that I'm talking about can only be received whenever you have found the source of joy. And that's Jesus Christ. If you're not a Christian, will you pray with me just now? Heavenly Father, I want to pray for those who are listening, who do not have joy in their life. Tragedy has come into their life, loss of jobs, so many things. I just pray that on this moment, in this December of 2014, may they turn their eyes, their ears, their heart, their soul to you. May they find real, genuine joy. God bless you.